till date, we've done over 1,700 events now. So for the first year, we were just a blog writing about. We launched our ticketing platform, and within a month to 2 months, COVID hit. पैसे हमारे पास नहीं थे. Like I mentioned, at one point in COVID, we were down to our last 150,000 rupees. That's nothing. One person has ever used that functionality. The rest, everyone wants you to do it for them. ठीक है, so we're like हटाओ. अगर आप टिकट वाला के साथ टिकटिंग कर रहे हैं और आप कस्टमर्स को टिकट वाला का नहीं बताएंगे तो कहाँ से लेंगे? ठीक है, the customers to know where to buy it from, right? So you have to market टिकट वाला.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, दिस इज़ मोहम्मद नबील फ्रॉम एग्जिट बेस. हमेशा की तरह इस टाइम पे भी हम आपके साथ बहुत ही अमेजिंग गेस्ट को लेके आए हैं जिसमें हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि उनकी बिज़नेस जर्नी किस तरह की रही, किस तरह से उन्होंने अपने बिज़नेस को स्टार्ट किया, आइडिया कैसे आया और अभी किस स्टेज पे हैं. हमारे साथ मौजूद है ज़यान. इनकी कास्ट है वो बड़ा मुश्किल होता है प्रोनाउंस करना, तो मैंने कहा उन्हीं से पूछूंगा कि वो प्रोनाउंस क्या करते हैं और वो क्या कास्ट क्या है आपकी. अस्सलाम वालेकुम ज़यान, कैसे हैं आप?
Well, Sam, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to tell you about his journey.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. सबसे पहले तो आप अपना पूरा नाम बताएं. सॉरी.
Zayan Bawani.
भवानी. भवानी इज मतलब किस उसमें आता है?
Yeah, मेमन है.
मेमन में. ओके, ठीक. अच्छा जैन, थोड़ा सा बताएंगे किस तरह से आपकी टिकट वाला आपने स्टार्ट किया. इंटरेस्टिंग. पाकिस्तान के अंदर ई टिकटिंग इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं होती थी जिस टाइम पे आपने स्टार्ट किया, तो व्हाट वाज द थॉट बिहाइंड इट? किस तरह से स्टार्ट हुआ?
Yes, so on the contrary, हम जब यूनिवर्सिटी से वापस आए, actually the three of us founders, Zayan, Abedin, my partner is also Zayan.
ओके.
ठीक है, there's myself who's Zayan, and then our third partner Rehan. So we've been best friends since we were kids. Okay, we've known each other for 25 years, right? And we always kind of wanted to do something together. So when we moved back from university, and we were all in different places. I was in Lancaster in the UK, Zayan was in Turkey, and then Rehan was in the US, right? So all completely opposite ends of the world. And we all moved back to Pakistan and wanted to do something together. And we saw that there was an opportunity in the entertainment market in Pakistan, because the thing was that सबको लगता था कि पाकिस्तान में कुछ करने को ही नहीं है, right? People like it, मूवी देखने के लिए या खाना खाने के लिए जा सकते हैं, उसके अलावा कुछ करने को ही नहीं है, right? But that wasn't true. The thing was, there was a lot happening. People didn't know about it, right? And so we saw that as an opportunity. Okay, we have a very young demographic in Pakistan, right? But people are under this misconception. And ticketing platforms were around. The problem was not the ticketing platform, right? So when we launched, there were ticketing platforms that had been around for 5 to 7 years, doing pretty much the same thing, right? With the QR codes and e-ticketing and so forth. So technology like that wasn't necessarily the biggest issue, right? From the technology standpoint, it was that it wasn't localized, right? Which we had to do when we came in. But the main issue was the misconception that there was nothing to do, right? And the consumer knowledge gap between the event organizer and the consumer, right? So we came to bridge that gap and say, okay, there is so much going on, right? You just don't know about it, right? So we wanted to become that platform first and foremost where people could come and discover what's happening, right, in their hometown. So when we moved back, we saw this opportunity. We like, we all have backgrounds in event management, by the way. We were doing events in Pakistan before we went off to university in high school, right? We went abroad. I was doing events in the UK, and in Turkey, and in the US. So we all had a background in event management, right? And in this whole entertainment field. So
और आप जो एजुकेशन हासिल कर रहे थे वो किस फील्ड में थे?
marketing. Yeah. So I started marketing from Lancaster University, and then moved back straight after, right? And I was doing events there. So I was the events coordinator for all of UNICEF in that region. I was doing, let's say, the university grad balls and stuff. In fact, I opposed the university's grad ball in my senior year. उनका एक निकला, ठीक है, I was like, मुझे पसंद नहीं आ रहा, मैं अपना करूँगा. And we did our own, and we sold so many tickets that the official university ball got cancelled and mine became the official ball, right? So, we had a lot of experience doing events and stuff. So we were like, hey, इसी में कुछ ना कुछ करते हैं when we moved back. So when we came back to Boston, we saw this opportunity. We were like, okay, let's start Ticketwala up. And so we launched the blog, right? So initially for the first year, Ticketwala was just a blog.
And when you started, what was the year?
2019. 2019, right? So we launched, and for about a year, we were just writing about the different events that were happening in the country, right? So it was first Karachi focused, then we expanded all over Pakistan, writing about everything that's happening, whether it's comedy or concerts or theater or whatever, right? And we would use, that was kind of our tactic also, कि एक तो you're spreading the knowledge about what's happening, but at the same time, we were using it as a way to outreach to potential future clients, right? As I said, the main issue was the gap in the knowledge, right? So, which plays into marketing those events, right? So even if you're ticketing those events, but nobody knows about the events, who's going to buy it, right? So we would reach out to these clients and say, we wrote this about you, right? And obviously we'd love it if you could share it, right? And so forth. So once they share it, because they will share it, right? Somebody's writing good things about your event, you want the marketing, you're going to share it. So they share it, which obviously builds brand equity for us as well, brings more traffic to us, right? And we tell them, look, we'd love to work with you when you launch our ticketing platform.
तो इट वाज एन इंटरेस्टिंग आइडिया कि आप ब्लॉग से स्टार्ट करो, ठीक है, और फिर वहाँ से पहले ऑडियंस गैदर कर लो एंड देन गो टू द लाइक इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर कि यार हमारे पास ऑलरेडी ऑडियंस है, अब हमारे तो टिकटिंग करें ताकि आपको ऑडियंस मिल सके. और दैट इज़ द मेन यूएसपी फॉर एनी टिकटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि सिर्फ अगर आप प्लेटफॉर्म दे रहे हैं तो आई थिंक नथिंग, मतलब उससे फ़ायदा क्या होगा. ऑर्गेनाइजर को तो ये भी चाहिए ना कि यार रीच भी तो मिले मुझे. तो वो वाज द आइडिया कि यार पर ब्लॉग स्टार्ट.
Yeah, so we make all our decisions together, collectively, the three of us, right? We work together as one, right? And especially when you're in a startup, शुरू में तो वैसे ही lines इतने blur हुए होते हैं कि, कि you're doing all this stuff collectively anyway, right? But the main concept was, one, obviously the marketing, it was essential, and that was the main idea behind Ticketwala, was to give access to people, right? But also during the time that you're building out the platform, what's the point of just sitting idle? एक साल अगर लग रहा है फॉर एग्जांपल उस टिकटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म को बनाने में, लॉन्च करने में, राइट, utilize that time, right? So that's what we did. We used it as a way to outreach to clients as well, right? उनकी भी marketing हो रही है, वो भी खुश, हमारे लिए sales हो रहा है technically. Before we launch, we're already locking in clients, right? Pretty much. Because हमें पता है उनमें से कोई ना कोई तो हमारे साथ बाद में काम करेगा, ठीक है, relationships बन जाती हैं and so forth. And then we even started charging for writing blogs over time, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता, right? So revenue भी शुरू हो गया थोड़ा सा, not much, obviously we still new, but शुरू हो गया.
अच्छा, मुझे एक और चीज़ ये बताएं कि आप तीनों जो फाउंडर थे उनमें कोई टेक्निकल फाउंडर है, ये सारे मार्केटिंग के?
So none of us are technical.
नॉर्मली मैंने ये देखा है कि जो टेक्निकल फाउंडर नहीं होते तो उन्हें बड़ा इशू होता है स्टार्टिंग में टीम बिल्डिंग का, क्योंकि आपका ठीक है एक मार्केटिंग साइट की तरफ से ब्लॉगिंग के वहाँ से आपने ऑडियंस तो गैदर कर ली, लेकिन प्लेटफॉर्म बनाने के लिए यू नीड सम टेक्निकल. तो उस टीम को किस तरह से बिल्ड किया, व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रेटजी बाइंग दैट?
Yes, so
या लेकिन ही कोई अच्छा बनता हो.
yeah, I mean, look, we have, none of us are like technology guys, tech guys, right? We never built a website ourselves, nothing. We knew nothing about it, right? We just knew this was an opportunity and karna, and we'll figure it out. Okay. Now, I do wish we had some technical knowledge, and pretty much up 5 saal ke baad we've learned on the job, right? So I mean, sure, I'm still not a tech guy, but like enough to have a conversation about it, right? Or with the team at least, and so forth. But yeah, in the beginning, there's absolutely no knowledge whatsoever from the tech side, and we went to an agency to build out our website, right? वो भी like जान पहचान के through, like reference के through, अच्छा आप इनसे कराएं, and we did that, and that website was so bad. It was so bad.
हाँ, ये सवाल इसी वजह से था कि बहुत सारे जो नॉन टेक वो होते हैं ना फाउंडर्स, तो उनका ये होता है कि यार हमें ना एजेंसी वाले चुना लगाया है. So that's why I asked you the
It was
question.
bad, man. Luckily, the blog was really good. The same people made the blog for us, and the blog was really good. It was basic WordPress blog, right? But we put a lot of focus on the branding element of it. So rather than, let's say, where blogs have, एक picture ऊपर लगाया, ठीक है, and per text, right? And it's all in a basic format, right? Ours, if you go back and look at our blogs, they're not like that at all. Every single blog was like custom curated and designed differently, so we put a lot of effort into that. People like that. That worked with the clients because they're like, effort डाल रहे हैं इसमें. It's not just कि हाँ कुछ लिख रहे हैं and putting it out. And because one of our founders, Rehan, right, he's incredible, at writing and stuff like that. So super creative guy. And this was like his niche, right? So he was obviously we're passionate about the industry and wanted to do this as a business. So he was going all out with it, writing some great stuff. उस time तो AI वगैरह का तो सीन ही नहीं था ना. अब तो ChatGPT आ गया, लोग उसी के through कर रहे हैं आधे चीजें, but not at the time. Um, and that's not too long ago, you know. So a few years, things changed like crazy, right? So we used to put effort into that sense, like that. From the tech perspective, the first website was terrible, right?
How much did you lose, if you want to share?
Not much. I mean, it didn't cost us much at all at the time, which is probably why. Yeah, but you know, so what happened to us, unfortunately, this is a major part of our journey was COVID, right? So for the first year, we were just a blog writing about. We launched our ticketing platform, and within a month to 2 months, COVID hit,
Okay.
right?
Launched in February
Yeah,
20 hours.
right? So we launched in the beginning of the year. COVID hit, right, by March or so, and all of entertainment was dead, right? And so what we obviously initially there was this fear and all of this, everything's entertainment is
Physical
been
event नहीं
going
होने तो
नहीं, आप
ticket
क्या
कौन
करें? We
देता है?
just launched the platform, right? And we had so we were naive, we were young, we were naive, just our university, no experience, none of us had ever had a proper job or anything like that before this. We had done a small family and friends round, right, where we put in what we could ourselves, and then we got a few family members and friends to put a little bit of money just so we could build out the tech, right? And we had blown all the money on well, a lot of it was going towards also the blog, and we had got really good writers on board, and we had, obviously Rehan managing most of that as well. But we also blew the money on a nice office and stuff like that. We, it was really bad decisions. I'm glad we made those bad decisions, to be honest. I'm very glad we made those terrible decisions. And when COVID hit, within a few months, we were down to our last 150,000 rupees, right, in the account. And obviously we downsized, right, because we were like, okay, let go of everybody that, is extra. We don't know when events and all are going to restart, but we knew that we had to power through. We're not going to give up. Kuch bhi ho jaye, we're not going to give up, right? So we downsized as much as possible. We shut down our office. We started working from my house, right? वहाँ पे table लगा के we were just working from there, and we refused to give up, right? And that actually set us apart. So what happened was that during COVID, all the other ticketing platforms, and just by the way, like I said, those many ticketing platforms already in the industry, they decided to just stop working. Their whole thing was, okay, once things resume, right, and settle down, we'll start our ticketing again. जब तक हम कुछ नहीं कर रहे, ठीक है? They're just idle. They started doing different things, opening different businesses. कोई घड़ी बेच रहा है, कोई क्या कर रहा है, and we were like, नहीं, हम यही करेंगे. So we doubled down on our marketing efforts. We used that time to build relationships with everyone in the industry. So by the time that COVID was over, right, we had pretty much signed all the most prominent venues and event organizers on exclusivity with us, right? So
लेकिन उस during COVID आपको कोई client नहीं मिला, मतलब revenue नहीं था, right?
revenue, so actually there was. So we pivoted. So we were doing a few different things, right? One was like we're building all these relationships.
हाँ.
Okay, with even the event organizers that weren't doing anything during COVID, which was the majority of them, right? But we were still reaching out, putting in the effort, helping them with marketing, talking about their stuff, doing different things. We tried all sorts of stuff on social media as well, like from quizzes and this and that, right? Some things worked, some things didn't work, but we're like, karna to hai, right? So we signed all of them on exclusivity. The other thing we noticed was, so everybody's affected by COVID, all the businesses, every single business was affected, right? And obviously, like entertainment was hit very hard, right? Because it was the first thing to close and the last thing to open. But everybody, like I said, was affected. So we noticed that people didn't have an outlet, right, to sell their services anymore. So even like, let's say, personal trainers, right? People, doing makeup, people, whatever, it could be anything, right? We noticed that they didn't have a place to sell their services, and even they had to move online, right? So what they started doing was they started doing classes on Zoom, right? The salons started selling makeup classes on Zoom. right? Personal trainers started giving their classes on Zoom. Photographers also started doing stuff on Zoom. Everyone was doing stuff on Zoom. Zoom boomed, right?
Zoom boom.
So we were like, yeah, यार इसके अंदर घुसना है, इसको पकड़ना है किसी तरह से, right? So we were like, yeah, everyone's going online. They don't have a place to market their products other than their own page, ठीक है, or running ads, right? And these people don't necessarily want to be giving out their bank account information publicly also, right? Yeah, अगर मैं कोई class दे रहा हूँ, let's say, how are people going to pay me? Like, I don't want to put it up necessarily like that, or even just distribute it to even random people, right? So we were like, hey, let's list all of these things as events on our platform, right? So we listed all of these different types of classes on our platform, literally as an event, like it was a physical event. उनके लिए event हमने page बनाया, ticketing की, and then we would give whoever purchased the tickets the Zoom link. कि आप इधर just join में, and we had pivoted that way. So we ended up having our best months, to date at that time, during COVID, in terms of revenue also, right? And that obviously connected us with more people, and that made our brand equity stronger because it gave us another outlet. We're still talking about what's going on even during the pandemic. We're like, यार इतना कुछ हो रहा है, आप घर पे बैठे हो, आप ये कर सकते हैं, आप कुछ सीख लें, class ले लें, ठीक है? So we started doing that, and that really helped us. And even the revenue was there. It wasn't big because the market share was still pretty small. We were still brand new, right? So during the same time, what we did was we had a lot of people coming to us and saying, we love your marketing, and please, we would love it if you did our marketing for us as well. So we basically capitalized on that. We opened a separate marketing agency.
Okay.
We opened a separate marketing agency, and we started taking on those clients, and the money we made from there, paid all the bills, right? And it made sure that Ticketwala got free services as well. Because of the same owners, we're like, ठीक है, we can leverage it, right? We're like, यहाँ से इसकी cost ये उठा लेगा, marketing के services तो cover हो जाएंगे, right? And it's still in digital age, a lot of the stuff can happen, just from your computer, right? The main thing was marketing for us. So the marketing agency kept Ticketwala alive, right, through COVID, right? And then it picked up slowly until Ticketwala was self-sufficient again, right? So, and the rest of the time, what we were doing is we were building on our technology. So we scrapped the first website and we built another website, right? So we built another website, which is the current website. I had a lot of issues along the way, definitely. And now it's in a much better position, right? And now we're launching relaunching again in the next few weeks. We're relaunching.
What is the main reason?
Yeah, so same thing as we did last time, right? So the reason that we built out the first one was shit, right? But the second one, we localized the product, right? So there was two issues, right, with the two main issues within all the ticketing platforms in the country at the time. One was the marketing aspect and the consumer knowledge thing, right? Second thing was that the platform was subpar technology-wise, not in terms of कि अच्छा bugs nahi and like that, but you have to localize your product, okay? So when we launched Ticketwala, like I said, we were young, naive, we didn't know much. We were also thinking, it's going to be a very easy business because we had done events abroad, and I'd worked with all the biggest ticketing platforms abroad, right? And multiple, like at least 10, 15 of them. And over there, I've done tons and tons of transactions and a huge volume with the different events that I've done. But I've never spoken to a single person from, those companies. Not on the chat, taken on call, nothing. You go on the website, you sign up, you create an event, and that's it. You start selling, right? So we thought, we're going to come here and we're going to do the same thing, right? People will put their own events up, and we won't need to get involved. Paise aate hain, maze. Which was just not the case,
Yes.
right? Not the case at all. So till date, we've done over 1,700 events now.
1700.
Yeah. And majority.
एक्चुअली इस चीज़ का ना, ये जो आपने खास तौर पर लोकलाइजेशन वाली बात की है ना, ये बड़ा मेरे ख्याल से इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चीज़ को समझना कि यार आप जिस पर्टिकुलर टेरिटरी के लिए प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं तो अंडरस्टैंड करें कि यार वो लोग वर्कआउट कैसे करते हैं. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे यहाँ व्हाट्सएप पे अगर बात नहीं हो ना, जैसे COD है, ई-कॉमर्स के अंदर COD के बगैर ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि आपका जो है ई-कॉमर्स बिजनेस सक्सेसफुल हो जाए.
I mean, now though we don't even do COD anymore, right? Before we were primarily COD.
Yes.
That's a whole other thing I'll bring up as well. But yeah, definitely that's why we're localizing it as well, right? You had to provide it. After COVID,
What are the features you are, let's suppose, adding to localize it?
yeah, so just as an example, right? So of the 1,800 events that we've done now, we had a create event feature where you could create your own event on the site and it would just upload. We'd have to approve it, right? Because यहाँ के लोग कुछ पता नहीं होता वो क्या लगा दे. But one person has ever used that functionality. The rest, everyone wants you to do it for them. Okay, so we're like, हटा दो. And so we had removed it from the site. On the second side, the current side, we removed it. Now we have to make the event for you. On the new side, we're bringing it back because now people have learnt, right? So now people are moving towards that. So we're like, okay, now they can do it. And now still we'll have to approve things. Some functionalities we're giving to them that they can make changes themselves. Some they can't, right? And stuff like that. But we're bringing it back because now people have adapted, right?
Cool.
The big thing that we created was an entire offline scanning system, right? Which nobody else had or even has, right? Today even. Because we realized that internet ka bahut masla, theek hai? So when you go to PSL, right? When you go to Karachi, any big event that's happening with this, too many people, right? Internet ka to scene hi nahi, and it's just not gonna work.
बिल्कुल.
Right? So if you're scanning,
और आजकल के जो पिछले 2-3 हफ्ते में इंटरनेट की हालत है,
exactly, right?
यहाँ पे व्हाट्सएप के मैसेजेस सुनना मुश्किल काम है.
It's impossible, right? So you can't rely on that. So we needed to build a system that worked without internet.
Okay.
And we were like, hey, how do we make this happen? We spent a lot of brain power trying to figure that out because we were like, hey, it seems, initially it seemed impossible, but we were like, ye karna hai, because that's what will set you apart. All the other ticketing platforms need internet. So you were not actually solving for the fake ticket problem because
अच्छा, इसमें फेक टिकट बना के ले आते हैं लोग हमारे यहाँ.
हर चीज़ कॉपी हो जाती है. हर चीज़ कॉपी हो जाती है, right? So it's separated by the QR code, right? Every single ticket has a unique QR code and you scan it and it comes up with the data, right? And once it's scanned once, it can't be scanned again, right? So you can usually catch that. And it needs to be synced because the thing is, if there's 10 different lines, एक line से ये आ रहा है, एक line से ये आ रहा है, ticket same है. If they're not synced together in real time, then they'll both get in, right? Now the problem was that a lot of the ticketing platforms, what they were doing is that just for show, they were pretending to scan it, but वो scan हो ही नहीं रहा था because internet ही नहीं था.
Okay.
Right? But वो दिखा रहे थे हाँ scanning कर रहे हैं, right? But so the fake ticket thing wasn't being solved, right? So we're like, we need to fix this. So yes, our platform was working online as well, but then you would have encountered those issues. So we're like, okay, we have this time. We don't know how long COVID's going to last, but let's use this time to build stuff out, right? So we built out the offline system. We managed to figure it out. So all the tickets can be scanned without any internet. All the different lines are synced in real time. So it runs pretty much the same as an online system with perfect internet, but without internet.
Makes sense.
So we built that out. And then we built out like private event functionality, right? So a lot of events that happen, you don't want the public to come, you want to filter attendees. So you can actually have an event that is live on the site, right? But it doesn't show publicly unless you have the unique link, right? And then the event organizer also has the ability to accept or reject customers before they can make their payment. Right, so you can filter attendees if you want to. Then we had like customizable form fields where you can ask pretty much anything you want. And we built out functionality that we were like, one, we knew as event organizers what we wanted, what we needed, right? Because I'm gonna be events kiya hua hai, so we were like, let's do that, right? And the second thing was कि आड़े टेढ़े requests आते रहते हैं सबसे, right? I mean, you will not believe the amount of different requests that we get, from event organizers, even customers. And so we're trying to figure out, obviously you can't do everything. You can't do everything. You can't make everyone happy. But we're trying to figure out what's the most important and how do you cater to every single different type of event, right? So and that set us apart. And I'll tell you why, right? What the other ticketing platforms, why they didn't seem to grow in entertainment, right? One was the marketing. Okay, technology ka to itna wo tha nahi because people were still selling tickets majority from Agas and different petrol pumps and stuff like that, right? Which was just like made no sense. So they were not even utilizing those ticketing platforms. Okay? The second thing was that they were focusing on the 1 or 2 big events a year, okay, that were happening. But there's like thousands of other events that are happening which you're not even looking at, right? Sure, they're much smaller, but those 1,000 combined are much bigger than that one event, right? And the marketing that your platform is getting from those 1,000 events is way more than that one event, right? So we've always focused on the collaborations with different people and pretty much everybody. Free event हो या छोटा से छोटा event हो या बड़ा से बड़ा event हो और कोई भी workshop हो, ठीक है, या online class हो या आपका कोई theater हो, comedy हो, concert हो, whatever it is, work with everybody. Work with everybody, right? And we focus on a lot on the relationship. So we have a relationship with every single different organizer, right, that we have. And that's the only way we were able to sign them on exclusivity. Otherwise, why would they ever sign exclusively with you, right? So build relations with all of them, give them all equal attention and marketing, right? So make even the smallest of event managers feel like they're big, right? And help them grow, right? So because we were able to see what all the different events are happening, right? We were seeing okay, what goes right, what goes wrong, how can you improve? So we would sit with those organizers for hours on end and be like, "Yeah, acha, and even still today, right? "Kya acha, aap ye na kare, aap ye kare, this will help with this and this will help with that," right? So making them really feel, that
True.
thing. So that was a big part of it, the relationships, the collaborations, and all of that. And we noticed that, look, for an event to sell tickets, you have to tell them where to buy the ticket from.
Yeah, true.
ठीक है, अगर आप टिकट वाला के साथ टिकटिंग कर रहे हैं और आप कस्टमर्स को टिकट वाला का नहीं बताएंगे तो कहाँ से लेंगे?
बिल्कुल
ठीक है, the customers to know where to buy it from, right? So you have to market टिकट वाला.
मार्केट टिकट वाला, तो यहाँ से आपकी मार्केटिंग
तो हमारी मार्केटिंग भी हो रही है, राइट? सो कोई बिलबोर्ड्स अगर ला रहा है वो टिकट वाला का लगा रहा है, ठीक है, ऑनलाइन एड्स चला रहे हैं तो टिकट वाला के लगा रहे हैं, राइट? सो our marketing was happening, right, consistently. And the more events that you work with, if you're working with 1,000 events, 1,000 different people are sharing your stuff.
right?
Then we're like, okay, how do we use like organic? तो पैसे हमारे पास नहीं थे. Like I mentioned, at one point in COVID, we were down to our last 150,000 rupees. That's nothing. Right? That's nothing, right? And we didn't put another penny into the business since,
Okay.
right? So we scaled from 150,000 rupees to doing 500 million, right? Without another rupee, right? And it was all through these through marketing, right? And organic strategies, right? So working with the right people, working with everyone, doing collaborators. We've done collaborations with Daraz, we've done with Bogo, Savior, Bakia, Kareem, everyone. Mostly on barter, right? Which benefits all.
अच्छा, इसका थोड़ा सा मुझे बताएं, जो बार्टर डील्स करते थे, क्योंकि बहुत सारे मैं देखता हूँ फाउंडर्स जो है ना, वो बार्टर डील्स वगैरह को एज अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं देखते, ठीक है, तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएं कि कोई छोटी सी अगर एग्जाम्पल शेयर करना चाहिए, यार इस तरह की बार्टर डील से हमें बड़ा अच्छा फ़ायदा हुआ था.
Yes, so okay, so I think people also look at barter very simplistically, where they're like, okay, हम आपका post लगाएंगे, आप मेरा post लगाएंगे, right? But we went deeper. We were like, okay, how do you get even more organic traffic from this, right? So for example, if you look at our page, we don't post like our own posts. We post a lot, but we don't post through Ticketwala. Every single post is a collaborator post, right? So if you're posting it, we're collaborators, both of our audience is getting it, right? So we're like, okay, what we're going to do is, and now you can do 3 collaborators or more, right? So what we started doing was, okay, we know that giveaways, right, like free tickets, people like free things, right? Those get a lot more traffic and attention and so forth. So what we started doing is, we'll work with an event manager. We'll tell them कि यार आप अपना budget से 5 ticket निकालें, ठीक है? We'll do a collaborator post, ठीक है? So for example, what I did with on 11/11, ठीक है, with Daraz, because I was like 11/11 traffic अच्छा है, I want to make the most of it, right? So rather than just saying, अच्छा हम आपके post लगाएंगे, आप हमारी post लगाएंगे और हमारी traffic तो nowhere near Daraz, right? So especially back then, so we're like क्या करें? So we work with an event manager. We'll say कि यार हम आपका event जो है दराज पे लगाएंगे 11/11 को, ठीक है? And you give us 5 free tickets. So what we start doing is we're like, okay, we make a post. Daraz, Ticketwala and the event manager are all collaborators. सबको आपका और सबका audience को देख रहा है, ठीक है? 5 free tickets है, उसमें हमने rules रखे कि follow all 3 pages, tag your friends, whatever, right? And then we use the post ticket to go on Daraz, right? And Ticketwala, right? And event manager is also obviously posting it. And then maybe you get an artist involved, whoever's at that concert or something like that, कि आप भी इसको post करें or something like that. And then you run an ad on that post also,
हाँ
right? So that reach is going from, just Ticketwala Daraz to
तो
right? Um, so using strategies like that as well, right? To organically build the brand and get more reach. And what we started doing was, so we had the marketing agency.
हाँ
Then I said we launched in COVID.
is it still you're running the marketing agency?
Yeah, so we have it on the side, right? We're actually now pivoting that as well, right? All back to Ticketwala, right? So I'll explain that in a moment. But the marketing agency helped us in a few different ways, right? So it was one, the cost thing, right, that I mentioned. And the other thing was, so we had a performance marketers on board, SEO guys on board, we had like designers on board and so forth, right? So obviously doing our own SEO, doing our own ads and all that, but we started offering the performance marketing services to our clients as well. Okay, so for example, if you're running ads for your event, which you have to, you're going to run ads, right? We were like, look, we have professionals, we have our own agency, it's an in-house agency. We will run your ads for you. We won't charge you for the service, right? But you pay the budget. You put the budget, we'll do the service, we'll run the ads through Ticketwala. So what started happening was the event organizers started paying for our marketing, right? For our budgets, they're paying. So we've never put any of our own budget, right, to date. I mean, maybe a very small amount. The rest is all coming directly from the event managers, right? But it's in their benefit.
Obviously.
It's in their benefit because we're able to run those ads much better than they are, right? Because we have a professional doing it, one. And two, now today we've done, over 1,300 campaigns. You've populated your Facebook pixel so much and you've built up so much data, right? And you know the demographic better than anybody else, right? That your conversions are so much higher than theirs, right? And they're not paying a service fee for it either. So you're increasing their sales, which means you're increasing your own sales, and they're paying for your marketing, and you're constantly running ads. And the Ticketwala is everywhere. Ticketwala is everywhere, right? So we were constantly, trying to find ways because paise nahi the. So like, how do we make the most of it without money, right? What organic strategies can you do, or how can you frame things where other people are doing it for you, or you're capturing a lot of reach, but everything has to be a win-win.
True.
Right? We do not believe in taking advantage of anyone or anything like that. Has to be a win-win. If anything, we're happier to lose, and if you're winning, because we know that you winning will just make you come back to us in the long run, right? So those are the main things that really took the brand up, and still today same strategies.
हाँ
Same strategies.
ज़बरदस्त। अच्छा मुझे एक और चीज़ बताएं कि जब टिकट वाला स्टार्ट किया था उस टाइम पे जो बिज़नेस मॉडल था राइट नाउ इज़ द सेम बिज़नेस मॉडल, या कोई ड्रास्टिक चेंज आया और आपको लगा कि यार हमने जो चीज़ सोची थी उस तरह से नहीं थी, बल्कि हमें इस तरह से पिवट करना पड़ा?
So we do a lot of different things, right? I mean, for right now, Ticketwala mostly just comes across as events, right? But our big vision is to take over all of entertainment. Take it, and I'll get into that in a second. But in terms of the business model, the core business model is still the same, which is that we take a commission on every sale, right? Through our platform, right? Aap agar khud bech rahe hain to, isn't that different, right? Now it depends if you want a distribution network and we say hum ye the physical locations pe aap le rakhwa denge, then we'll take a commission on that also, right? Because hum rakhwa rahe, right? If you sell through our platform, same, we take a commission. And then we, like I said, we had the creative one functionality. People want you to do things for you, right? And then over time, you're becoming an expert in this field, right? So what we started doing was we were like, okay, well, we will manage the entire offline sale for you as well. Because event ho raha hai, online sale ho raha hai, but gate pe bhi sale ho rahi hai. Why lose out on that commission, right? So we'll manage that for you, right? We'll do the sales for you. And the gate is probably the most important part of your event, right? It's the entry, it's the access, right? If you mess that up, your event's completely finished, right? Fake tickets agar aa rahe hain, agar kuch, line mein masla hai, you're ruining the experience. So we'll fix that for you. We will manage the entire gate process. So our team will come, we will scan the tickets for you, right? We have an offline system that nobody else has, which we don't give to the organizer. That you only get if we are scanning, right?
Interesting.
And if we're doing the sales, right, then we'll do the sales for you in cash or also credit debit card. हम machine वगैरह भी ले आएंगे सब सारे चीजें. So we're adding more, stuff to that. And we'll manage that whole thing for you, right? So now we're bringing value to that. And now people are like, okay, you know what? Just hand it over to them. I don't even have to think about that on event day. Gate का मुझे बिल्कुल ही नहीं सोचा. I'll focus on all the other things, right? So you're taking that huge stress off of them. You're bringing the value to them, and they're willing to pay for it, right? And so they pay for it, and that became another big chunk of our revenue, right? So it was not necessarily pivoting in terms of the core business model. It's core business model is still how I'm taking a percentage on sales, right? But it's expanding it,
Expanding.
right? And that's what worked.
कौन सा आपको लगता है कि यार कौन सी कंपनी ऑर्गेनाइजर के लिए आपने किया जो आपको लग रहा हो सबसे हिट हुआ था वो और सबसे ज़्यादा सेल हुई थी और व्हाट वाज द रीज़न?
Yeah, in terms of like which event?
Revenue in terms of number of tickets and all this.
Yeah, so we have, Marshall said today, 700 event clients, right? That do more like constant events with us. Our biggest client is probably District 19. They do the most events by far, right? I think they've done over 150 events with us, right? And then you have like the big events, right? Like you have Karachi Eat, you have like the Masala, right? Family festival and stuff like that. And Karachi Eat, the first time we did it, was actually a big like aha moment for us and a big turning point. And one, because obviously it was big, right? But also, so before that, like we brought up cash on delivery, right? Everything was cash on delivery. 80% of our orders online were cash on delivery. And we hated it because we were like, yeah, this defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do, right? That was one, but COVID brought about a lot of digitization as well.
मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि अगर कोविड नहीं आता तो अभी भी हम 10 साल पीछे होते
I think so.
जहाँ पे अभी है.
Yeah, seriously, I think it really changed a lot for this country as well, right? And it brought people along towards, just computers.
नहीं ये स्कूल के हम लोग तो स्कूल्स के साथ काम करते थे तो स्कूल्स के टीचर्स ने जूम यूज़ करना ही शायद उस टाइम सीखा.
जिसने कंप्यूटर का भी चलाया नहीं था वो अब कर रहा है. And that brings obviously with your credit cards, debit cards, so forth, right? Mobile wallets and all that different stuff. So we're like, okay, let's use this. So we slowly started to remove cash on delivery. We would speak to event organizers. We're like, look, we don't advise it, right? And we prefer that you don't. हम कर सकते हैं, but whatever. And so we started moving. Obviously, COVID का भी issue था. It was the whole sanity thing as well, right? कि यार वो उसमें कुछ जरासीम ना हो or whatever, right? So we had.
इस टाइम पे तो लोग थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा वो हो गया था इतनी ज़्यादा वो चीज भी थी क्रिएट हाइप के यार हाथ लग गया तो ये हो जाएगा.
डर लगता था हम मर तो नहीं जाएंगे क्या होगा. Hazmat suits में लोग घूम रहे थे एक टाइम पे यार. So there was that fear. So we played on that fear as well. And so we removed cash on delivery. I said, okay. But there was a fear because I was like, okay, well, if 80% of your orders are cash on delivery, right, then, and people were not comfortable using online payment methods. People weren't comfortable putting their card details in. That was a big part of it, right? So even I think myself as well, until a few years ago, right, like before Ticketwala, obviously, right? But like I would have been a bit sketchy. Yeah, sketched out. Okay, I don't know if I want to put my card details on every different site, especially local sites where you were a bit more hesitant. So we were scared. Kya hoga? And then we saw Karachi Eat come. And Karachi Eat ki awam is very different. It's all types of people that are coming. The price point is significantly lower than most other events. And we spoke to them and mutually decided कि सारे tickets online होंगे और gate पे भी sale नहीं हो. So all of the tickets will go through Ticketwala, right? And if you want to come, because it was still kind of during COVID, right? Like things were just easing up, then you have to buy it online through Ticketwala. And we saw this huge surge of orders, which at that point was our largest number, right, for any event. And we were like, we're this amazing. But what it showed us was that people were okay with using their credit cards and all that if they had to, right? Like they wanted to go, they were so desperate.
If you give them option, then
Option ही नहीं है तो वो करेंगे, right? And that I think changed things for us as well, because it made us realize that okay, people will do it if they have to do it. So we started weaning out cash on delivery, but at the same time, because there was such a big audience that came, we were like, okay, well, now these people have used their cards on our platform before. They know they haven't been scammed or anything. They're happy to use their cards. Those people are again transacting on our platform in the future with their cards and so forth. So COVID helped us in that way as well. Karachi Eid specifically helped us, for that. So that's one big event that I'd like to highlight, because that changed the game for us, right? Now we don't do cash on delivery. Like, it's very rare. If it's like a request of the event organizer, we'll do it. We work with BlueX for that.
what was the biggest challenge in running this type of company in Pakistan?
In Pakistan, there's a lot of challenges, right? Day to day. आज भी challenges आ रहे होते हैं. I think with your constant like अब taxes का क्या हो गया, इसका क्या,
Taxes का मुझे
like
बताएं,
constantly
चीजें ये
something
सवाल इस
that's
वजह
like
से है कि आप क्योंकि टिकट आपके पास आता है and you take commission, it means that it's just not your revenue, right? And then you
so the taxes are based on our commission amount.
okay, and how do you reflect in accounting something like that? कि यार
Yeah, so we usually charge our tax straight to the event organizers.
Okay.
We tell them कि जो भी हमारा commission पे amount बनेगा उस पे आपका इतना tax पड़ेगा, which is then different for Sindh, different for Punjab, and so forth, right?
सर्विस टैक्स लगती है
Yeah.
आपको, इसके क्या लगता है आपका? जीएसटी नहीं लगता है,
Yeah,
राइट?
service. So service.
सर्विस है बिल्कुल.
So आपका यहाँ पे अलग है, SRB का, PRA का अलग है.
तो ये
No,
इतना आजाद बनाया है मैंने, फिर सा कंट्री है उसके अंदर भी अच्छे से आना करना.
And then increasing it. And now today, now you have, when you're running Facebook ads, right? There's taxes on that are almost 30%, right? You're already just saying, I think in general, a lot of people running ads that don't know how to run the ads are losing money on their ads to begin with,
तो
right? Because they're not getting conversions or whatever. And now you're adding a 30% tax on that. So it's almost like guaranteed they're going to lose money, right? Like, go on to that. So you're just hurting your own economy. Like, it doesn't, it's become very difficult like that. And so we've also seen a little bit of a drop off, I think, in terms of ad budgets that are coming through, because let's say if somebody's putting 100,000, right? Now they're like, okay, well, let's do 100,000, but including the tax. So it's 70,000. Right? And then some will obviously still pay it, because you still need to run the ads to get the
normally what is the ROS in your industry?
It's very different, right? Like, it's so different, because the ticket prices are very like crazy. I mean, we can have a 100,000 rupee ticket also, and we can have a 200 rupee ticket also. And then the categories, there's so many different categories. From like, obviously your tech, you have your tech stuff, right? Like your +9 Disrupt.
Right.
You have your comedy shows, you have your concerts. There's so many different things, right? But over time, we've built up the data, and the results are excellent. And at its heart, Ticketwala, like I said, was always a discovery platform, or was aiming to be a discovery platform, right? And today it's become a discovery platform. So we're seeing a lot of direct searches on our platform, people just typing.
That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, they're coming to Ticketwala to see what's going on and then purchasing tickets.
Right.
So we're trying to build that entertainment.
What type of events are most popular on your
Concerts?
As per your
I think concerts are huge, and food festivals are huge. Pop-up markets and food festivals. Pop-up markets and food festivals probably sell the most, right? Then you have concerts. Comedy always sells out, but small shows, right? Comedy is always like 200 people, something like that. So the numbers are very different from like a pop-up market or a concert or stuff like that, right? So, but we cater to pretty much everything.
right.
That's the thing. But we're trying to build an entertainment ecosystem. It's not just events. Right now it's events, and we also manage artists, right? So Hassan Rahim is managed by us.
Okay.
Right, Boljani and Shah are also managed by us. Zan Abedin, my other founder, right, he is their manager directly as well, right? And so we're going much bigger into artist management now as well, where we're going to be trying to.
Obviously, क्योंकि concert अगर a bigger chunk है, तो it makes sense कि अगर आप उसे manage कर रहे हैं, then obviously event बढ़ा
Yeah. So now we're pretty much doing everything in terms of events. right? So we will do your marketing, we'll do your ticketing, right? Standard. We have artists under management, but we can also book any artist for you locally or internationally, right? And then we will help you get sponsors because
You
we're
can also help the event manager.
yeah, exactly. Right. So we're helping getting sponsors and then we're consulting the event managers, right? Telling them ye karen, ye na karen, and so forth. And if you want, we will also do the entire event for you. We'll be the event manager also.
Tell me one thing. If I have to arrange a like event of for 2,000
Yeah.
people, which place is good in Karachi?
Yeah. So it depends again, like
It's a freelance event for the freelancers.
event for freelancers. I mean, like, you can do expo as well, right? Expo is also a good spot. It depends a lot on what is the event, right? And does it need to be indoors? Does it need to be outdoors? Right? What kind of audience is coming? What is the ticket price? Right? All sorts of stuff comes into play, right? And I think our biggest challenge in Pakistan is venues. The biggest challenge is venues by far.
And especially in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad में मैंने देखा है, फिर भी they have a good kind of venues and all this thing. लेकिन I was surprised कि पाकिस्तान में इस तरह के expo के अलावा you name it,
Yeah.
कोई बड़ा वो
Venues
नहीं.
it's tough, right? And a lot of your venues most are outdoor venues, which means you need to set up everything from scratch.
Everything. Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Stage से लेके, everything, right? You have to do from scratch, right? हर चीज का vendor चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. NOCs भी आप कराएं, मतलब it's tough. But so we give those recommendations within them. So within events, we pretty much do everything, right? We'll help you with pretty much everything. But entertainment is a lot more than just events, right? So for example, there's cinema, there's tours, there's your football grounds. Up the paddle is so big, right? Booking those as well. There's theme parks, there's museums, there are art galleries. I mean, there's even gyms and spas and salons, right? Like entertainment encompasses a lot of things, even food, right? Everything that comes under entertainment. So we want to build an entertainment ecosystem, right? So now soon, we'll be launching an entertainment directory with the new site where you'll see everything to do with entertainment in the country, right? All the different venues will have its own separate section, gyms, separate section, food, separate section.
So it's mean in future, I can see the ticket wala is kind of park mean for events,
Sure, right? For entertainment,
for entertainment, obviously.
right? And eventually then we'll be providing booking systems for each different type of entertainment. Right. So if you want to book a football ground, like we used to go, I still, we play football, right? We book KU or wherever, right? Or you go for paddle or something. You have to, it's all still, call करके आप करें या WhatsApp पे करें. You can't book it online, right? It's all still way behind where it should be. And so providing those booking systems for pretty much anything to do with entertainment, right? And the same opportunity is available to you, across South Asia, right? So if you look at then India, the fair you're not really doing, right? But like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, right? So we plan to expand regionally, right, into all of entertainment, right, in these different countries, right? And Pakistan still is super untapped. I mean, majority of our stuff is still just Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad. But you have so many cities with over 1 million people, right? And paisa bhi hai, right? But वहाँ पे events ही नहीं हो रहा है. So we're trying to build the market, create the market there, do our own events, right? Create that market, right? Start things up in those cities. So Pakistan is untapped. Then obviously you have Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, etc. So where we plan on doing all of entertainment. And then the ultimate goal for Ticketwala is essentially to become the largest discovery and ticketing platform for Desi events globally. There's like 60 million, right, Desi diaspora across UK, Canada, US, UAE, and KSA, right? And then you have like tourists going back and forth as well, right? So how many times have you heard somebody's flying to Dubai for a concert, right? And it's an Indian artist also. It could be anyone, right? And people have the money. Those desis have the money as well. And this is your SOM, right? This is your obtainable market as well, right? So it's a $3 billion opportunity, just those desi events. There's 70,000 desi events that are happening across these 5 countries annually, right? And obviously your ticket prices are very different, everything's very different, right? So we plan on expanding globally, right? To become the largest Desi events platform. Because the problem is that you have tons of ticketing platforms and much better ticketing platforms abroad, right? As well. So like your Ticketmasters, Eventbrite, whatever, right? And all of them have like a Desi events category, but unless you're following a specific artist, right? And you're checking their website or their page, okay, or you're checking one of thousands of different ticketing platforms, you're never going to find half those AC events. So we want to try and solve that same problem that was here, which was the discovery,
Discovery.
right? कि लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि क्या हो रहा है. If people know what's happening, they're more likely to go to those things, right? So become the largest Desi events platform in the world. It's a huge market.
अमेजिंग. हमारे पास टाइम की कमी है इस वजह से, क्योंकि मज़ा आ रहा है काफ़ी, और भी मेरे पास बहुत ज़्यादा सवाल है जो मुझे पूछने थे, लेकिन हम कोशिश करते हैं यार कि 1 आवर के अंदर हो जाए, क्योंकि जाहिर सी बात है हमारी ऑडियंस भी जो है उसे जो है वो मूवीज़ देखनी होती है 3 घंटे की, उसमें ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट होता है. ठीक है, तो इंशाल्लाह किसी और एक और एपिसोड में आपको ज़रूर इन्वाइट करेंगे. व्हाट इज़ योर फाइनल वर्ड्स फॉर द फाउंडर्स या इन जनरल जो बिज़नेस है उसमें आना चाह रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान में बिज़नेस करना चाह रहे हैं? व्हाट इज़ योर लर्निंग, क्या उनको मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
I mean, you have to be prepared to sacrifice everything. Right? Like, it's very difficult. It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not like cool thing, co-founder, CEO.
You have to give up
something.
everything, right, to do it. Like, I mean, your social life, right? Everything will suffer if you want to put like your blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and you need to be driven to the max, right? Like for us also, like I said, COVID hit. It was so easy for us to wrap up and say, "Okay, our bus, we're done."
कोविड आ गया.
कोविड हो गया, पैसे भी अकाउंट में थे ही नहीं, ठीक है, कोशिश क्या, कोविड आए, गुड एक्सक्यूज, बंद करो, right? We don't know when it'll start again, whatever, right? But we're like, no, you're determined कि ये करना है, right? You make it work. And I believe that, those hard times are so essential, right? Every time that we've fallen the hardest, right? We've got back so strong,
True.
right? Because those hard times make you think outside the box. If you're really willing to not give up, and you're like, no matter what, right? कि मुझे ये करना है, ठीक है, तुम कर लोगे. You'll figure something out, right? But you have to be willing to figure that out. You have to be willing not to give up, right? So first thing is, don't give up, ठीक है, keep going, right? First लगे रहो, right? And don't care about what people think. Like, I've come from a family business thing, and when I started Ticket Wire, people were like, टिकट बेच रहे हो तो पाकिस्तान में इवेंट्स के लिए दिमाग खराब तो नहीं है, and I was like, like we believe it, we see the opportunity, and alhamdulillah we followed through with it, right? So don't necessarily like fall into the trap of what everybody is saying. Do take advice and ask questions and ask for advice from everybody, right? Because I think the biggest thing for me was my Abu had told me once, he was like, yeah, just ask the stupid questions, ask the dumb questions. Doesn't matter if you look like an idiot, but at least you'll get the answer, right? Nahi puchoge to pata nahi chalega, you'll keep wondering, and then nothing will happen, right? So ask the questions, get the advice from everybody, speak to everybody, and then implement it, right? And that'll make you smarter inherently and ask even better questions, right? So definitely keep doing that, get the advice, do that, keep going, don't give up, right? And I think do your research, right? So a lot of people, I speak to a lot of different founders, others, even friends and whatnot. People will think, so there's two things, right? One, they'll think there's an opportunity, and they'll just go for it without doing the research to get कि यार market असली में है
भी
या नहीं, right? You just want to do it because you think it's good. You don't figure it out. Run the financials. See, bhai, does the business model make sense, right? So make sure you do that, right? And the second thing would be, look, people say do what you love, right? I do and don't for that. Okay. Thing is, doing what you love doesn't necessarily make you money. You're running a business to make you money, right? You need to be passionate about your goals, right?
Yeah, and go.
Yeah, not necessarily about
What is the path?
Yeah, so the thing is, if you're just going to do what you love, and I'm like, okay, I love to paint, doesn't mean you're going to become a millionaire, right? You're a gym owner, right? Or you're going to start personal training. Again, might not be that path. Does the market exist? Is it too saturated or not, right? So don't necessarily just do what you love, right? Some people need to, because some people I feel like they aren't as driven enough, or they don't stick with something. ठीक है? It's like going to the gym, right? मैं एक बार चीज़ करूँगा तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. I'm not gonna start looking amazing and fit, right? But if I go every single day, right, I'm consistent, then I'll see the results, right? And that consistency is the most important thing. So a lot of people lack the consistency, right? Unless they really enjoy it. For them, maybe do something that you love, right? But otherwise, try and look for the opportunity in the business world rather than just, okay, yeah, I enjoy doing this, right? Be passionate about your goals, right? And how you're going to get there, and, all of that, more so than, okay, yeah, मुझे इसका शौक है, मैं यही करूँगा.
बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स के साथ ये मसला होता है, खासतौर पर फर्स्ट टाइम फाउंडर्स के साथ ना, कि वो उनका काइंड ऑफ बेबी बन जाता है एंड दे थिंक कि यार यही है और यही है. और दूसरी एक और चीज़ जो मैंने पाकिस्तानी फाउंडर्स में देखा है, एक तो ये चीज़ होती है कि स्टिकनेस, काइंड ऑफ इमोशनल अटैचमेंट. सेकेंड इज़ कि लोग क्या कहेंगे. दैट इज़ द स्टिग्मा आई थिंक कि हमें एज अ फाउंडर खासतौर पर बिजनेस कम्युनिटी में ये करना चाहिए कि यार अगर बिजनेस फेल होता है तो ठीक है, इट्स ओके, लेट्स डू समथिंग एल्स जो आपको लगता है. तो ये बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है जो हमारे फाउंडर्स जो है थोड़ा मिसिंग करते हैं. मैं देखता हूँ काफ़ी सारे कि लगे रहते हैं, उन्हें पता है कि नहीं होने वाला है, फिर भी जो है वो लगे.
I think this लोग क्या कहेंगे is
the
it's the worst thing, man. In our society, especially, also people think about it way too much. Just stop caring. Okay? Stop caring. Focus on your own life, right? Focus on your own path. Just go for it. If it makes sense to it, and forget about what this.
मैं तो जो फाउंडर्स बोलते हैं ना, लोग क्या कहेंगे बोलते हैं, उनसे जाके बोलो कि इन्वेस्टमेंट दे दे. इन्वेस्टमेंट देते फिर बोले.
If you're so focused on that, ठीक है, do it and show them कि यार अब देखो मैंने कर लिया.
बिल्कुल सही. थैंक यू वेरी मच सयान फॉर योर टाइम. इट वाज अ ग्रेट डिस्कशन एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर वॉचिंग. इस तरह के अमेजिंग पॉडकास्ट देखने के लिए इस चैनल को ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब करें. जयान का लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल, टिकट वाले के जो वेबसाइट है वो ज़रूर शेयर करूँगा ताकि आप लोग जाके ज़रूर विजिट करें. अमेजिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है. और एक और चीज़ जो जयान की जर्नी से अगर आप देखें ना, तो कंसिस्टेंसी और ग्रिड, कि अगर एक चीज़ नहीं चल रही तो दूसरी ट्राई करें, दूसरी चीज़ नहीं चल रही तो तीसरी ट्राई करें, ये बहुत ज़्यादा मिसिंग है हमारे फाउंडर्स के अंदर. तो इस चीज़ के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस करें इफ़ यू रियली वांट टू ग्रो योर बिजनेस. थैंक यू वेरी मच. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़. अपना बहुत ज़्यादा ख्याल रखिए.